Oh, yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, outsiders of all ages, it's getting a little bit closer to chapter 119 of Texas OU. You know we're going to talk about it tonight from all kinds of different angles. It's a What Are You Drinking Wednesday, and we are ready to go. And when I say we're ready to go, I mean we are legitimately ready to go. It's the Outsiders, brought to you in part by Poncho. Let's give Poncho some love right at the front. PonchoOutdoors.com. That's Colt Fishing. I got 2 Poncho shirts ready for my 30th reunion this weekend because I look so damn good in them. I got to wear it twice. I'm taking the white one and the black one this weekend. Shout out to Poncho for that. PonchoOutdoors.com. That's Colt in the camo. I will not be doing the camo. I don't look that good. I do not look as good as Colt in the camo. PonchoOutdoors.com. All right, speaking of shirts and gear, your upper left, as always, is the quarterback, but he's extra special tonight. He is Chance Mock in a legitimately worth the shit shirt. What's up, Chance?
Hey, not only are the Outsiders legitimately worth the shit, as my man Chris Abbott says, Texas is legitimately worth the shit. And it's a What You Drinking Wednesday.
What do you got?
We're about to beat that OU ass.
What do we got? What are we drinking?
Oh, Tiquilina, my water with my little lemon juice there.
Como?
Oh, there it is. Sandman says OU is not legitimately worth a shit. That is correct. Absolutely correct. Your upper right this evening, he's rocking the correct hat because the Rangers have advanced in the playoffs. That's right.
Congratulations.
Jason Dick. Other than that victory, what are you drinking?
You guys know, perhaps maybe you don't, if you've been following along with my personal life, this is a big step for me, but I want you guys to know that tonight I'm having a very special beverage. All right.
What is Jay?
3120.
That is a great spelling. I love that.
The spelling is my favorite part. You said 3120. You're
yeah,
already in with your
3120. In case I get cut off tomorrow, I just want it to be known that my Wi-Fi held up long enough to say 3120. Texas wins. Bo Edge, Homer Juice. Let's go.
God, I don't know what I love most. The fact that it looks like a 7-year-old did it, or the fact that you spelled Edge that way. That's just so good.
Is that not right, Bo? What happened? Is that not?
Look,
I just
I know you have
a
round. Just because you went to Round Rock High School doesn't mean, and I know because I went there too.
There it is.
Edge has a G in it.
A what?
Is that Dragon Education? Is that what it was?
That's how he spelled the Edge on his sports book because he thought he was going to be able to get away with it.
Hang on.
I see where we're going with that.
It's EGJE. What kind of a spelling is that? What?
Oh my God. Fantastic. All right. It is a What Are You Drinking Wednesday after all. Your lower right is the voice of the people. He's Chris Abbott. He's back. Good to see you, Mr. Abbott. What are you drinking?
Thank you. I've got a little beat that OU ass Kool-Aid right here tonight, fellas. I was out Monday. I was with the young guys. We had an unfortunate incident, so I had to move nice with our practices. But so I was with the Youth of America. But hey, it's the best week of the year. It is.
Oh, yeah.
It's here. Yeah,
now it's Wednesday, and you're ready to go, and we're drinking it up. Your lower left is the Country Gorilla. The Country Gorilla gets extra feisty when it's Texas OU week. Bo, what are you drinking?
Sooner Tears.
Sooner.
We collected them all last year at 49-0. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers, 49-0. Let's have a 49-0. Can we do that? All right, and just for you guys, gentlemen, just for you, I want you to check out this beautiful. Look at that silvery logo. Look at that silver logo.
Gorgeous.
On a Yeti device, just in case y'all need to know how much I hate OU. I got a little, in fact, in honor of the reunion this week, I've got vodka that is produced in Waxahachie, Texas, mixed with a little sparkling, and it's lovely. So that's what we got for What Are You Drinking Wednesday. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. We do not have a guest scheduled tonight, but tomorrow night on the Thursday night edition of The Outsiders, there's something special being cooked up. Chance Mock, are we allowed to reveal or not?
You can reveal it. Go ahead.
Tomorrow night, probably 9:15. Yes,
9:15. Yeah,
9:15. Chance Mock And the big three together. There it is.
Roy, Sloan, BJ, all
Chance
three.
Mock,
Wow.
Roy, BJ, Sloan, all together. Does Sloan Thomas use the F word more than BJ Johnson? Who knows? We don't know. Will they all together use it more than Aaron Humphrey? Probably
No.
not.
Possible.
Probably not.
No.
But my God, what a great interview that was.
I played in the Cole Pittman golf tournament with Sloan. He can go toe to toe with Roy and BJ on the F word or usage of said word. Nobody is in Aaron Humphrey's weight class when it comes to dropping F bombs.
Woo! If you love an F bomb, you got to go check out the Aaron Humphrey interview at some point. Not now, later on.
Hey.
Oh, there was just an aggression. The way that like some people drop it like, hey, F. You know, I'm trying to be kids in the car radio for a second there, but Humphrey, like, it comes from his chest and it's like, rah, rah.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah,
Oh.
He was wearing a 49ers hat, and as a Cowboys fan, just hearing him talk, I'm ready to take a knee on Sunday. Like I feel like it's over.
I told my mom today because we were discussing that wonderful outburst, and she loves that word so much. I said, Mother, you know, Aaron, he always does everything to excess, right? So he was trying to beat BJ, but unfortunately, he sailed at 30,000 feet past BJ's record and waved at it on its way by, and it just kept going.
it really was not close. It was not close at all. So we're looking forward to that tomorrow night. So tonight, it is just going to be us and you guys on the Specs chat. Shout out to Specs. Remember, they opened their doors so long ago. Texas didn't even have a national title in football when they did it. 1962 is how long they've been around, taking care of you. Go to specsonline.com. You can get stuff delivered. If you're hanging out, staying in Austin or staying wherever you are and not going to Dallas, you can get stuff delivered for your watch parties and all that.
That's a weird Aggie way to deliver it, Chad. I'm just going to say that. Is that in the copy?
What's that?
I don't know. That's just a weird Aggie way to deliver it. That
no,
Specs
I'm not
has
saying
been
I didn't mean it
around
that way. I'm just saying that's how long it's been. Would you prefer like nobody knew who the Beatles were? Would you prefer that?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Is that good?
The clock started when Texas won its first national championship. The end.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I understand it's a sensitive week. I get it. I don't trust me. I do not want to get in the way of anything this week because I do hate me some OU, and I hope Texas mashes them pretty damn good. Before we get into the game itself, though, gentlemen, let's talk about some Texas OU memories. When I say Texas OU, is there one thing that pops in your head? Is it a player? Is it a game? Is it a memory? Is it food? What is it? Jump in on the chat as well if you like tonight, whatever your favorite whatever is for this game. But Chris Abbott, I'll start with you. We call you the voice of the people. So how many times do you think you've seen this game live, first off?
Live, I've seen it twice.
Okay. You've been there a couple times. Give me your thought. What do you think of when I say Texas OU?
The first time I went was actually the year that we beat Kyler Murray in the famous "Take that L, bitch" comment.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
The Dicker the Kicker.
Yeah.
end.
The best part about that, though, was my brother and I are walking out of the game. Of course, we're excited. And anybody that's been to that game knows that if you're on the winning side of that, the fair is the greatest part after that game. I mean, it's amazing. But so my brother and I were walking through that, and my brother, if he saw somebody with an OU hat on or anywhere, he would just walk up. He's like, "Hey, man, I didn't get to go in the game today. Do you know what the score was?" And he probably, I thought we were going to get our ass kicked. He probably asked, I guarantee he asked 50 people that question. And every single time they would look at us like, basically like, "Bro, really?" I mean, but it was hysterical. And we had such a ball with that. He asked that question literally from the gate all the way till we got in our Uber to go to the hotel. It was fabulous. It's such a cool scene down there. Best I've ever been to. I mean, it's amazing.
That's very, very cool. Yeah, getting to take control of Midway and take control of Dallas as a fan base, that's very, very cool. All right, Jason Dick, what do you think of when I say Texas OU? What's your memory?
Probably my favorite one, or at least the most recent memory that I can conjure up, 45-35, 2008. Is it because I was standing on a table drinking Jägermeister at noon? Probably so. I have another good one, but I'm not sure if my Wi-Fi will hold up long enough to tell you guys this story. I think, is it the 4 or 5, Stoney Clark at the goal line, shuts down the running back at the 1 yard line. That paid off eventually because I was playing in a celebrity basketball game where Quinn Snyder was the coach at the time, the coach of the Austin Spurs or Toros or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he had no desire to coach the game. And he said, "Hey, does anybody want to be in charge of playing time?" And Stoney Clark was there, and he raised his hand and he said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And I immediately was like, "Stoney Clark, you're my guy. Okay. 1994. That was my favorite. Texas. Put me in, coach. Put me in." And so he immediately sent me in for RIP Cedric Benson. And I played 45 seconds before Cedric Benson checked himself back into the game for me. But if not for my affinity for that 1994 goal line stand, I don't think I would have played 45 seconds. I think I would have played 0. So that's my Texas OU memory.
Yeah, that is fantastic. Yes, and that was 1994. Folks jumping in on the chat to give some of their memories. We'll get some of those coming up as well.
Hold on, Chad, real quick.
Yeah.
I got to I'm just making sure we're going through this.
Okay.
So far, we talked to Adam Dunn and we found out that there's some pitcher in the junior high leagues in Round Rock that gave up a home run to Jason, that poor pitcher's still licking his wounds.
One guy.
That's
and
right.
Now we find out Cedric Benson went to the bench so that Jason could get on the court.
That's right. They benched number 32, that guy.
Stoney Clark, based on my appreciation of that play, same. And I swear to God, guys, they sound the horn, and Cedric Benson looks up, and I'm like 32. Let's go. And I swear to God, he looked at me like I was supposed to be bringing him a towel and a water bottle. Okay. He was like,
so good.
Hold on. What? You're checking in? And I'll tell you this as well. Cedric Benson plays basketball. He plays celebrity charity basketball games like he played football. Okay. He will lower his shoulder and take that charity to the rim.
Fantastic.
Nobody told you it was a Make-A-Wish charity too. The poor kids laying on the ground.
All right, lower left, Bo Edge. What's your memory? What do you have for us?
Long story short, we started talking about it when A-Hump was here. The comeback in '99. I was in charge of 3 charter buses full of people.
Damn.
And after, everybody's like so mad at me because we got to the game at the end of the first quarter. Because one of the buses had broke down, as the social director, I'm in deep shit. And then we get there and we're down 17-0. And I'm like, see, I saved you. And then we win. I'm in charge of the buses. So I told the bus driver, y'all don't leave until I get on the bus. I'm the one that writes the check. And they're like, okay. Well, I ran into like Hump and a bunch of other players. There was a few of us. And we're walking around the fairgrounds, like just playing darts with carnies and eating all the food. Well, there's 150 people waiting to go to a Robert Earl King concert. And we show up just hammered. And they're just, what are you doing? What are you doing? I'm like, you can go now. And we went to the front and grabbed a beer and kept going. And my real friends are still friends with me. And the ones that didn't like me that much anyway really didn't like me anymore.
I'm sure you lost sleep over it too.
There's things that happened later in that trip that I can't say on public or even YouTube machine airwaves that, it didn't end well.
Yeah. All right. We will definitely get some of Chance's thoughts on this game as well, but I see we are at that time. Bo, real quick, so we make sure to stay on schedule. Let's talk about something they may not love it as much as Texas OU, but everybody loves thinking about vacation. Let's talk about Engage Vacations.
Well, yeah, because vacations are supposed to be fun. Vacations aren't supposed to be tedious. They're not supposed to be time consuming. They're not supposed to be aggravating as you're trying to get all these things set up. That's what Engage Vacations can do for you. You tell them where you want to go, whether it's Hawaii, Mexico, the Caribbean, Europe, doesn't matter. They've been there. And what makes them different than a lot of agencies is they actually go on these tours, not to go drink a bunch of cocktails and get free food. No, they actually take notes and will help you know which restaurants to book, which ones not to book. Engage Vacations, Chad and Teresa Shields and their team. You can give them a call, 512-922-3322. But it's easier. Just click the QR code right there. Get with them. Tell them what you're looking for, and they'll get you set up. Engage Vacations.
All right. Look, it's like 111 right now in the Specs chat. That means we're heading towards 119. This is the 119 edition of Texas and Oklahoma. Also realize odd year means it's home game for Texas, the designated home team. So you'll see the beautiful burnt orange from Texas and the whites for Oklahoma. Sorry, the cream for Oklahoma in this game. They'll look awful. Texas will look great. It'll be wonderful. All right, Chance, let's get some of your thoughts on this game, because unlike anybody else on this show, you have worn that beautiful burnt orange uniform that Texas will wear on Saturday. Talk about what it's like, not just to think about this game, but and have it around you, but to be representing Texas in this game.
Well, so you know, one of the things that I was talking to somebody about earlier today, and I think it's really important that a lot of fans, you hear them in the stands, and they're called fans for a reason, right? It's short for fanatic, which means they're not always rational. And sometimes, you know, they look at these guys and they're like, what do they do? And I'm like, trust me, they want to win more than you do, because they're the ones that have to go home. They're the ones that have to hear about it. They have to walk through campus. They have to sit in class and have people look at them and snicker if they don't win. That's a big burden. But let me tell you something about Texas. This is the greatest state in the world, because it's the greatest state in the country. And of course, America dominates the world in football. It's the greatest state in the world for football. And it's got some phenomenal institutions. The big ones like Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Baylor, SMU, TCU, U of H, Rice, and then some of the up-and-coming guys that you see with what they're doing at Texas State, UTSA, you know, Sam Houston, Stephen F. Austin. It's a great football state, but we wear Texas on our chest. Whether we're home, whether we're away, it says Texas. Most schools, what do? When they're on the road, they put where they're from. It'll say Texas Tech. When they're at home, it says Red Raiders, because you know they're at Tech. Texas wears Texas on their chest every time. And when we play a game like Oklahoma, we play that game for the state of Texas. We feel the weight of the entire state of Texas. We represent this badass Lone Star State against those damn land thieves from north of the Red River. And it's personal.
Chance, I've heard you say earlier this week that Texas A&M is kind of like, even if we can consider them little brother, we still have like a slight affection for them compared to Oklahoma. And I remember the time about, you know, brothers, you know, high school rivals, people across the street playing from each other. Surely that's true, right? You played in high school against guys who wound up at Oklahoma. Do you have any affinity whatsoever for anybody who lines up across from you as a Sooner, or are they just dead to you forever?
Well, they're not dead to me forever. I will tell you, it took a little awkward moment, and Hump and I, we played with a couple Sooners, and we talked about that. And I mean, we're talking 3-4 years after we got done playing the game, and we were still sitting in the locker room and like looking at each other like, are we about to fight? Like, how's this going to go down? Because it is a true, there's respect, but you just don't like the damn Sooners. You just don't like them. You don't like guys that grew up, especially in the state of Texas, and took their ass up to fucking Oklahoma.
Yeah, you, Adrian Peterson.
God dang. You know, guys like Rhett Bomar. You know, I hosted Rhett on his trip. And let me tell you, we talked about memories. There was a hell of a good memory of him getting his ass lit up and changing that game in a good direction too. And
yeah, our man Chris Bennett remembers that when we got this earlier. Bomard is what he called it.
It was, and you know what? And Rhett Bomar is now coaching at Conroe High School, about 15 minutes up the road from me. But you know, so it's a personal game. And we talk about representing the state of Texas and playing against those guys. And I'm sorry, I don't have a lot of respect for somebody that grew up in the state of Texas, especially people that grow up in the city of Dallas and have been around the game, who have seen the game, who understand what this game means to the state of Texas. Hell, the first time I ever drove up there from Houston on a recruiting trip, 1999, I'd heard about Texas OU. I'd heard about the Red River games. You watch them on TV because they are a big thing in the state of Texas, and it's important. And I grew up a Texas Tech fan, later an Aggie fan, and I still watch that game every year. And there was only one team, even as a Texas Tech fan, there was one team I was rooting for, and it sure as shit wasn't the Land Thieves, you know? And so we're driving up I-45 and on all those billboards everywhere. you're seeing it beat OU, go Texas, beat OU, all the way up. And I'm like, that's when, I'm getting goosebumps right now because that's when you realize the magnitude of it. Because it's not just the University of Texas, it's the state of Texas versus those bastards up north. And it's personal and it's awesome.
It is there's so many cool things about it, but the fact that it is two different states represented, obviously the way everything is laid out for this game, it's just an incredible thing to actually witness it. And if you have not, I said this to fans today on the other shows, and I'll say it all the time, but if you've never been there, you got to go. I know there's some Texas fans out there, and it's tougher to get tickets now. I understand it. It's so silly. It's hard to describe. Chance, I wanted to ask you about the tunnel because it always gets discussed. Did you ever play in a football game where, first off, when you were in the tunnel, did they still let you guys out at the same time, or did they do one team and then another team?
It was one team and then the other, but what they did was they had, if you can imagine, the two doors are here and here.
Yeah.
And there would be like a line of cops that would be separating the two of us. So they would be out of their door or we would be out of our door watching them, and you're barking at each other. You heard A-Hump talk about it the other day. You get to see these guys face to face before the game. It's not like one's running out from one end zone, one's coming out from the other. Like, you're right there and you're making eye contact. And it's, sorry, mother, it's fucking amazing. You get your juices going.
Did you ever enter a football game any other time in your career where you were even like within, 10 yards of the other team, much less that close?
No, the only one, and I'm trying to remember, that's really the only one that it's even close. We were in close proximity with Nebraska a little bit, but hell, it's Nebraska. You get done beating them, and their fans are high-fiving you and telling you what a great game you played. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my entire.
I got a question. What about like we've seen the two teams come together before you take the field, but what about when you're in your shorts and t-shirt and you're going out there, because y'all are still coming together then as well, right? Or is that, do they?
Oh,
is it?
No, that's when most of the close fights happen, is when you're in shorts and t-shirt, because there's not a lot of organization. You've got guys filtering in and out of the locker room, coming in at their own time, coming out. You're going to have Texas. What do we have to do? Most times we have to walk through Oklahoma fans, and then depending on which side we're on, we got to walk through their crowd, and their players are out there warming up, and of course you got the guys that are like, screw it, I'm walking right through the middle, whatever they're doing, and that's going to create something. And then you get players they'll go down to our end zone and they're stomping on it, and then next thing you're like, quit messing up that pretty burnt orange, go down to that bullshit ass crimson and cream you got down there. Stay off of our shit.
Didn't they also, wasn't there a point in time, didn't they extend that awning that comes out over the tunnel? When you were there, was it shorter, or had they extended it by then?
No, we were getting beer thrown on us, and there was
free beer.
Young ladies who let's just say they were very gummy and or missing some stones in their mouth.
Not everybody has dental coverage, Chance. Not everybody.
Terrible word, gummy.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. So it was fantastic. That's what makes this game so good. It's not very often that you have a 5'2", 103-pound soaking wet little trumpet player in the open band look you straight in the eye and go, "Fuck you." And I'm like, "I'm gonna kill you, you little bastard."
Yeah. No, the viciousness is it's just part of it. Everybody's got this story, but I can still remember seeing it when we did radio pregame over on the Oklahoma side of things. That's where the buses come in, and I saw a granddad with the grandson on his shoulder, and they both were doing double birds to the Texas bus. And then literally on the other side was grandmother and granddaughter. Same thing, both with double birds.
Roman candlesticks.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. And really, it starts in the hotel. It really does. It's all week long, but really when it starts intensifying is you start to go out and get on that bus, and you're getting on the bus, and there's 30 motorcycle cops, and then the regular cars that are in front of you. I mean, we had an officer get into an accident because an Oklahoma guy wouldn't get out of the way for the police officer, and he clipped the motorcycle officer's bike. Fortunately, found out he was okay, little road rash, and that driver probably did not get to make it to the game, would be my but
he's dead now. He's dead.
Yeah. But then, and you're seeing everywhere. I mean, you're in the cars and you're either getting two things. You're either getting hook 'em out the window, because most of these fans that are driving to the game, they don't know which bus it is. They know it's a bus, but they don't know which bus it is. So they're either giving the hook 'em, or, you're getting you're number one and not that one. Yeah. and then you pull in. Now this is where it gets fun. You pull into the fairgrounds, and I mean, you've got a long way to wind through that fairground, and there's 500,000 people in there, it feels like. And first you get to the Oklahoma fans, and I'm telling you, they're 20, 30 people deep, pushing to the bus, trying to get close enough to tell you to go screw yourself so you can read their lips. And I look over, and Chris Sims is like flicking off these old people. And I'm like, Chris, what are you doing? He's like, they're flicking me off. And I was like, they don't get to play. Don't worry. But then they're pushing, and you're watching, and they've got these massive the police officers and their horses trying to move people back just so the buses can get through. And there's people pushing the bus, and the bus is moving. And it's at first, the first time I experienced it, I was like, are we going to make it out of here alive?
Right.
But then all of a sudden, it's like the clouds open up and the heavens shine down, and that burn orange crowd gets there. And then that energy is there. And it's like, all right, we got our group. We're here. Let's take care of business.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. We're getting a lot of good chats in tonight. Let's grab a couple of these. First off, funnel cake. Who's eating it? Who wants a funnel cake? Yes?
Everybody
Good.
there. If you don't get a funnel cake at the state fair, Tommy's going to come back and hit you on the head with a tack hammer, because you're not working with the full deck.
That is not. You're right. You got to go after.
I didn't use the real line, but you got my drift.
Jason Dick came up with a great question for all of you on the Specs chat, and it is: if you could make up your own state fair food, what would it be? Somebody has an idea, Jason Dick. What about fried PB&J from Sandman? Sounds like an interesting idea.
I think they have them, actually.
They may already have that. Do you have an idea, Jason Dick?
I think the whole point of the state fair is that you can just drop anything in the deep fryer, and then
pretty much,
life is out. Today on my crappy radio show, I have posited the idea of a Big Tex brisket buffet Bloody Mary. All right, it's a Bloody Mary that has got a Fletcher's corn dog in it, that has got funnel cake shavings in it, and then it's got just a thick ass slice of moist brisket just dropped right into the Bloody Mary. Let's go.
That is fantastic.
That's a hard pass. Like, I'm all things Longhorn. That's a hard pass.
Boy, all I can think about is what's our little Joey Chestnut? Like you said, put the corny dog in there. I think about Joey Chestnut eating those soaking hot dogs.
Bro, no, you don't want that.
That's a pass, Bo. Let's go. Come on.
No, I'll take. I mean,
all right. Here's my
nothing. 49-0. Cheers. But there is no way I'm drinking a beverage that has a big slab of fatty brisket cooked at the state fair by God knows who. No.
All right, Hastings, what you got?
Okay, so my idea was, you guys remember. Now, see, I say remember because I still eat there, but y'all may have stopped. But you know the little pieces of fried dough at Long John Silver's?
Oh, God, yes.
We called them crumblies. Some other people call them other things.
Crispies.
So you know how vodkas and whiskeys and stuff are like distilled 10 times? You take the crumblies, fry them up 10 separate times, and then throw them in a bowl with bacon. That's my idea. Bacon and 10 fried crumblies. That's what I want.
Oh, that sounds phenomenal.
That's what I want.
That sounds phenomenal.
It's a hell of a lot better than a slab of fatty brisket in your tomato juice drink.
And you know what, Jason? Let's put brisket on top of mine.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. Brisket on top.
Oh, works for yours.
Brisket hat. I've had some incredible things at the fair. The silliest thing I'll tell you, fellas, is I think the greatest individual food that I had may have been a cinnamon roll. It was this goofy ass bacon stuffed cinnamon roll. It was one of the greatest things I've ever eaten in my life. I couldn't believe it. In fact, I was with Bo. That was you, me, JD going around to try to find stuff.
Oh yeah,
That day, the bacon stuffed cinnamon roll, incredible.
Oh my god,
big ass,
that's a bad trio
in that big
to
room.
hang with. That's a bad trio.
I gotta tell y'all, like the worst. So the last time I went to a Texas OU game was the 2005 game while we're making our march to the national championship. And I say they were making their march. I wasn't on that team, but I had been asked to be on a radio show that morning. And of course, we know the game starts at 11, and there was a great coach at A&M, Jackie, for a little bit. And I was supposed to do the show with him. And I'm like, all right, Jacob Dedamore, he's the one that set it up. And they're like, hey, you're gonna be on the show, right? And I was like, yeah. Well, that night I ran into a couple of our cheerleaders, and things might have gotten a little crazy. Well, next thing you know, I was supposed to be on the show at 8. I look at my phone and it's 9:13 in the morning, and I've got like 400 missed calls, and I'm still at the hotel. And I mean, half the missed calls are my mother going, everybody's looking for you. Where are you alive? Very much alive, but I'm late. So I come rolling in. Thank God it was radio, because my eyes were the color of Jason's hat right now. It was a rough. Let's just say my analysis that morning was not. Jackie wasn't real happy.
As somebody who's tried to book Chance for morning radio, I will just say story checks out.
Jason can verify.
As someone who worked with Chance at noon in radio, story checks out.
Oh my god.
Well, that's not fair though, because I'm up at 5 most mornings, but I do like my mid-morning nap. Okay, like.
Yeah, come on. You got to have that. You got to have that. By the way, before we get a little break in here, let's get this in here. My favorite memory is 49-0 Hook'em. Texas, Elvis Lover. There you go. A little 49-0. Let's hope it's 149-0 this year. All right. Before we go any further, we're going to get into a little bit of a little bit of breakdown on the game. What does Texas need to do to win? If Oklahoma were to somehow have success, what would that look like in the game? Get some of Chance's thoughts on OU, since we are going to have the interview tomorrow night. And we do have Jason Dick's Dick Move of the Week coming up. Oh, you'll definitely be ready for that. But Bo, let's tell them a little bit about HBT Designs, shall we?
Well, let's start with this, because you're somebody who called me this week with the problem. It's not fun, and Jason, you've been going through this recently, when the irrigation system and landscaping isn't set up right the first time on your property. It's a pain in the ass. You were texting me like, do you know somebody that can come fix some sprinkler heads? And we have zones out and stuff like that. That's why you use a company like HBT Designs. Chance has the dream team of UT receivers coming on tomorrow night for an interview. Roy, BJ, Sloan. Well, HBT is like a dream team from various aspects: concrete, landscaping. What they do is they brought their team together, so you get whatever you need. They have a guy for it. They have a team for it. They have a crew for it. That's why they formed HBT Designs. Landscaping, irrigation, commercial, residential coatings. They can do flat work, the pouring of concrete, stained floors, anything that involves concrete or landscaping. HBT Designs can get it done. Scan the QR code, and if you're old school and you want to call a phone number, 589-6150. That's 589-6150. Ask for Bruce. Tell him the Outsiders sent you, and you'll be taken care of. Just like Chad is going to get taken care of with his landscaping on the sprinklers.
How about that? There you go. Beautiful.
On the sprinklers.
On the sprinklers.
Well, I didn't want to commit the team to like putting in new flower beds, because Chad's wife would be hitting me up like, hey, do I get to pick the flowers they're putting in on this thing? Like, can I get purple flowers?
On the sprinklers.
On those sprinklers. That is right. All right. It is the Outsiders on this Wednesday night. What are you drinking Wednesday? We hope you have your beverage ready to go for Texas OU, just like we hope you have a good beverage going tonight. If you like Let's grab some chats here real quick, some memories for you. 06, Colt to Swede, says Sandman. That was a good one. How about this one? Foreman running wild in 2015. I know Charlie Strong was thrilled about that one. How about this one? 2013. Chris Whaley with the touchdown. I'd forgotten about that, Sandman. And those two guys are unexpected in ways. Those were unexpected Texas wins. Going into them, it didn't necessarily feel like it was going to be Texas's day. So let's talk about this discussion. Start from the OU side and be realistic enough to think, okay, this game can get a little weird sometimes. If it goes the wrong way for Texas, how does OU pull this off? OU wins if what? Chance, what's your gut tell you? What has to happen for OU to win this game?
First of all, I think they need a little help from Texas. And by saying that, I mean Texas needs to start off slow on defense. If they can jump out to a lead like a la 1999, where they are able to get a couple fluky type plays and they can jump out to a lead, I think it throws Texas's offensive game plan into a jumble. It throws what they want to do off, and they have to become a little bit more aggressive than they'd like to. And I think that's something that could happen. Texas has to come in ready to play from the first snap, because I don't see this as a Sooner team, whereas Texas will come in and throw some blows, but they're going to try to run the ball and establish the line of scrimmage. I think this is an Oklahoma team that knows if they're going to win, they have to start fast offensively, and they're not going to have time to sit around and dink and dunk with Texas, because Texas can control the clock on them all game long.
Yeah, I like
Two things right off the bat. And I've already said, on Monday, I'm predicting a pretty lopsided Texas victory. And Jason can say I'm drinking the Homer juice or whatever. I haven't predicted all lopsided ones, but I just really feel this one could be lopsided.
Edgy.
If it's not, the two things I think that will make that happen are, one, the injuries that Texas is dealing with. Those are two very critical components on offense and defense, because the defense, their whole scheme is to have Watts out there basically on an island. And if that changes, that opens up an outlet for OU to attack and Gabriel to get very happy. The second one is obviously JT Sanders on the offensive side. It didn't look right. Like, we got by against Kansas, and yes, we scored late, but like, that was running the ball. The passing attack to the tight ends did not look the same. Gunnar Helm looks great when he's an offset to JT Sanders. He does not look great as the lead dog tight end. He seems coverable. So you get some injury problems where guys are at, a couple more injuries, and all of a sudden it isn't the same Texas team. And the second one is if Sark then adapts the wrong way to those injuries. If he tries to outthink it and, well, I got to do these different things, what's going is working. Don't adjust because of an injury. Specifically JT Sanders. It's a little different with Ryan Watts, because you can't put somebody else in man island out there if you don't feel they can cover it. But that's how Texas loses this game. Looking at the players, OU's players are not to the caliber that Texas players are. And Jason can say I drink the Homer juice. Just look at where the NFL looks at those guys right now. Look at the draft boards right now and how the Texas guys, there's a lot of Texas guys on those lists. There aren't, like, Oklahoma's best player is an undersized, weak side linebacker that's just an animal. And he is. But that guy is not going to draw a lot of attention from the NFL.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. No, the talent is there. I think Chance's first comment, Texas may need to give them a little help, because historically, when Texas is ranked where they are and Oklahoma is ranked where they are, those two have come together about 7 times by my count, and Texas is 7-0. They've handled their business in this type of game. We'll see if they can do it again. Switch it around now. Chris Abbott, Texas wins if what? What's the early thing 5 to 10 minutes in that has you drinking happy instead of drinking nervous?
Well, I'm gonna beat the dead horse. I think Texas comes in, and I think they shove themselves in there and push OU around, and I think it goes back to 24. Get that guy in there, get him established, get him running the ball, and I, I'm reading through the chats right now, and I agree with my brother who chatted in. We can't turn the ball over. We hang on to the ball and we push these guys around and establish ourselves, which I think we can do. I mean, I got a prediction on the game. I'm leaning with Bo. I think it's a little more lopsided than people might think, but I honestly believe if Texas comes in with that similar game plan to what they rolled in with Kansas, push them around at the line of scrimmage, let 24 get established, let 4 get established, hopefully zero's back. But if he's not, you still got some good weapons out there with 13 and obviously 1 and 5 that we can do some stuff with. So, that I'm a line of scrimmage guy, and I absolutely love Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah, he's been playing great, and he's going to deserve. He deserves to get a chance to make this his game. Because if you do that as a running back at Texas, they will never ever forget you. Jason, what do you think? Texas wins if what?
Even though I truly am very nervous about this game, and it's probably just because the stakes are higher than they have been for Texas football in a decade and some. I'm very confident about this. I think Texas wins. Unless they fuck it up. Like the defense is absolutely super duper reliable. There is no way that Oklahoma scores 20 in this game. And so you can only lose this game if somehow the offense, Quinn Ewers, and we know Quinn plays up to the competition. Usually I would knock him and say he plays down, but he shows up for big games. So I assume he's going to be there. And so it's going to have to be a real royal mess up if they mess up this game. But more importantly, hang on. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Chance, get the shirt maker out too,
because
call. This might be the second one. The Outsiders.
Good
we
call.
win.
Hot take.
We fuck it up.
Take right there. Hang on a sec, Chris. You're what did you say? Yeah. Is it your brother Chris Abbott who's in the chat here? Chad, yeah. Are we the only ones without family members in the chat? Is that how you reinforce your takes on this show? You got to have you have to have a family member to back it up.
Yeah, I forgot to let my family know to agree with everything I said tonight.
Mom, absolutely. Learn how to chat. Learn how to chat.
Hey, tell her to get your meatloaf too while you're at it.
Meatloaf.
Get your meat life.
Mom. Meatloaf.
A Wi-Fi repeater.
But it's interesting when you mentioned the quarterbacks, it fits with the DNA of these two guys as well. Quinn has played up to the competition. And when you look at the numbers for Dillon Gabriel, Chance, I know you've looked at these numbers. Jeff Ketchum has talked about them on the House Divided show, 12-3, Orange Bloods Live. The numbers just go down. They do. When Dillon Gabriel plays just anybody, the numbers are pretty good. When he plays ranked teams, they're not. And he's never played a top 5 team, and he certainly hadn't played one in an atmosphere like Saturday.
I look, Dillon Gabriel's going to have his opportunity to put his stamp on it. And no matter what he's done in big games coming up to this, if he shows up and plays in this game, he will go down in Sooner lore forever. That's the way that this game works. I don't see it happening. I have said it over and over. I think championships are won by defense. Games are won in the trenches. You can't get to the championships unless you win the games. But the ace in the hole for Texas, to me, the biggest criticism I've had besides his footwork last year of Quinn Ewers was that he plays to the level of his competition. That was the knock on him last year. That was the thing. He plays huge in big games, plays down in games that, he should be working people. And that's where I think he is the ace. I think he's going to have such a phenomenal game. You look at the weapons on offense. Number one, the offensive line is playing extremely well right now. They're playing at a very high level. They're being able to fire out and drive people off the ball, which is helping them in their pass pro. But number two, and this is the big one, they have players at every position that can beat you. Go across the field from AD to X to Jordan to Jonte, Brooks, Baxter. You've got guys that can literally break one for a touchdown every time the ball's in their hand. And that's a freakish thing to have to stop, because what do you put your focus on? What do you try? You got to stop the run. If you can't stop the run, they're just going to run the ball all over you and you won't get the ball back. Okay. If you sell out to stop the run, now you've got wide receivers that are going to be open and an offensive line that can buy time for Quinn. It's a huge problem. But, back to the quarterbacks, I think that Gabriel hadn't seen anything like what he's going to see. And I think he's going to have guys coming, being blitzed from all angles, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I think it is too. And I agree with what you said. Both fronts look great right now. But, fellas, I went back to rewatch the beginning of that Kansas game. How good was that offensive line to start with? Holy hell. Alex Dunlap of Orange Bloods, who's as hard on offensive linemen as anybody, started watching it, and he shot us a deal in a group chat with some of the Orange Bloods crew, and he's like, my God, they played their ass off to start that game.
Chad, on Football with Friends, we looked at the grades. We went all the way back to, I think, 2016 or 17. We couldn't find a game where the offensive line graded out as well as they did last Saturday.
I'm glad to hear it because that's what my eyes told me during the watch along. I'm watching Jake Majors throw dudes around all day. It felt like 65 was making a play. And then you watch another play and it's Jones, and then it was Banks. I'd feel great about that if I'm a Texas fan.
You want to guess who the highest graded offensive lineman was from last Saturday?
Christian Jones.
I'll guess Campbell.
DJ Campbell.
Oh, really?
DJ Campbell. Phenomenal game.
Yeah. And that's twice this year, right? I think that's the second game where he's been the highest
He spiked twice.
Yeah.
And it was Alabama and Kansas.
Maybe another guy that is going to step up for a big game. A lot of confidence around Texas, and there is definitely a reason. We'll see if Texas can finish that off on Saturday. Remember, 11 a.m. kick. Watch along here on Orange Bloods Live. Got to get up early. Kegs and eggs again because they're scared of a night kick in Dallas. We'll talk more about the game. We've got the Dick Move of the week coming up, and don't worry, it involves Texas OU. Jason's got a little bit of an issue he wants to get to, and apparently there are dance moves which go with which I'm really excited.
Dude, I don't know what's in the Bo Edge Homer juice, but it's pretty good tonight.
I'm telling you. The Bo Edge Homer juice has some Deion Sanders dance.
I mean, he's hearing like DJ Skrillex in his head, and there's not even music playing.
That is so good. All right, before we do that, though, I want you to look right into the eyes of Chris Babbitt. I want you to look right at that beautiful covert hat, and I want you to listen to him. What's up?
Absolutely. Check out this new lid. My man Kenny Covert got us some new lids for the store. Come see us, Covert Ford 183, people. We've got the Broncos. We've got F-150. The brand new 2024 Super Duty is out. Beautiful, beautiful trucks. The 2024 Mustang, gorgeous car. We have a red one with a convertible red GT50. Amazing, amazing. Come see us, Covert Ford 183. You can scan that QR code right there. Our phone number, 512-345-4343. Kenny Covert, my man, is right there on the showroom floor, usually sitting at my desk, either talking baseball or Texas football. We have a great time in there. Come see us, shake his hand, and maybe leave with a new truck.
Not a bad idea. All right. We've got
Can I get an NIL deal on one of those trucks? I mean, I know I'm not playing, but
yeah, absolutely. I'll toss that around.
I'm sure you'll get a quick answer on that one.
Okay, apparently we do have
retroactive NIL. Hey, we'll get Chance Mock circa 2000 to endorse Covert, and then just get the truck delivered.
Look, we've got AI. They could make a 2001 version of Chance Mock and throw him in there endorsing Covert. I love it.
Gentlemen, I hate to take us off course a little bit, but I am being told in a device that's not really in my ear that Brent Venables has something that he would like to add to the show this week.
It's been just like you would expect. The fire hose is fully inserted in my mouth here, and we've been blowing and going, and so.
Oh my goodness.
I will never forget that moment. I was on the floor at Jerry World for that one. And for the next, fellas, 2 days, you couldn't ask anybody a question about anything without them referencing that.
Can we see that again?
It's impossible. I'd love to see it again.
It's been just like you would expect. The fire hose is fully inserted in my mouth here, and we've been blowing and going, and so it's been just like you would expect. The fire hose is fully inserted in my mouth here, and we've been blowing and going, and so.
What?
In my mouth here.
Like what sick Steven Seagal movie was he watching when he was taught that phrasing? Like everyone on earth knows it's drinking out of the fire hose, and
like he was blowing and going.
He's blowing and going. Yeah.
fully inserted because we all know what happens.
He was minding the children.
Did you play the trombone at Round Rock IGs?
Just blowing and going, guys. I'm ready to go.
If you only.
And the fact that he completely referenced it was fully inserted in my mouth. It was fully in my mouth. And we're blowing and going
in my mouth. Okay. All right, Coach. That's the day when I started thinking, yeah, you might be a 2 that's trying to be a 1. We'll find out Saturday morning and afternoon if he can stand up to what is required. It is the Outsiders on a Wednesday. Let's see if we can clean up some chats here. We got a story chat from John. Took my son, who was a senior in high school, to his first Red River game last year. Hell of a start. Awesome to watch the beat down.
Yeah.
Hook 'em. That's a hell of a way to start.
I hope he missed the blowing and going.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah, that's right.
That's a great story, except for now that kid is going to expect every game to be 49-0. Cheers.
Yeah.
There are games that don't go that way.
Right.
I've been there.
Yeah, that was amazing. I know some people who last year it's their first game. I mean, what a way to start. It's unbelievable. By the way, just watch all of those 4 faces when I click this chat up. Gentlemen, how about this? Sandman says, Quan destroying Lindy Holmes in 08.
Mm-hmm.
How great was that?
It was good.
It's phenomenal. And if you notice, teams that are really, really good have really good blocking wide receivers. They don't sit back and watch. They get in the mix of it, and that's what made that team so good. Like, they fed off each other. Your buddy's trying to go break one for a touchdown, and you're like, oh, Bubba, you about to lose it.
Who's the guy on this team, Chance, who's going to do that?
Worthy.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
really?
could be. I jumped right in there. Have you watch Worthy block? He blocks like
he's
an
aggressive,
NFL.
dude.
He go like the one that needs to learn a little more, and he's getting better, is Adonai Mitchell. Like we saw it in those first couple of games. There were some blocks that were kind of as my boy Abbott would like to say, cactus arms. Like JT Sanders sometimes get on the edge.
Yeah.
Like it's not there.
Yeah.
Worthy, for whatever issues people had last year, which I don't think is accurate with the drop passes, and everybody wanted to blame Worthy. And I think part of that was because he actually thought about going somewhere else and explored the world of NIL, which is what athletes should do at this point. Maximize your value, which is all he did. People got butthurt about it, but Worthy's a aggressive guy on the field. Like, you watch him, he doesn't ever run a half route. Like, if the ball's going to the other side of the field to Mitchell or Whittington or someone else, you will still be Worthy. Worthy will run that deep ball to take a safety with him, and he'll run it at full speed. Like, you see what you know what I'm talking about, Chance?
Oh, yeah.
Like, even when he knows he's a decoy, he acts like his job is on the line, and that's how he blocks.
He absolutely does, and he's one of those guys that he's not huge, but he will put his body in there. He's not afraid of it. The dude plays full throttle. I mean, he really does, and he's been Worthy this year has been fun to watch because everything that everybody ripped him for last year, he had a drop early on, and I was like, and then all of a sudden you get that one snag where he catches the back of the ball, which is harder than you can even imagine in that Alabama game, and it's like out the gates. Now he's found his shoes and he's ready to roll.
Yeah. You got to be physical in this game, or you do get left behind. A couple other quick chats, and then we'll get to the dick move of the week. C. Sherman, we don't know what Brett Venables is drinking, but we do know it's coming through a fire. Absolutely. And how about a super chat, gentlemen? $4.99. Thank you, Russ. Let's get serious here, guys. If the game comes down to a field goal, do you worry about Bert Auburn?
I'll say it. Yes, I do.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's not a knock on him,
A little bit.
but I mean, the fact of the matter is you've got to have a kicker. When you look back at some of the kickers that Texas has had, going all the way back to Chris Stockton and those guys, Dawson. I mean, you think about the lineage of kickers that have come through. I mean, Justin Tucker's still doing it on the big league level. Maybe not as much strength in the leg as he once had, but still as accurate as he's ever been. And it has been an issue. I go back to last year at Alabama. You never know how the second half works out. So I don't ever like saying we missed this field goal, so it cost us a game, because that changes the dynamics. That's not fair. But 2 more missed field goals last night. We had one against Alabama. I mean, I say last week, one against Alabama. Those are things that, if you've got 42 yards down by 2 with 6 seconds left, and you got to run a kicker out there to win the game, you wonder about it. I mean, I'm not going to be sitting there, and it's part of being the outsiders. We're not into just speaking the party line, and it's nothing against Bert Auburn. And I hope to God, it doesn't get back to him that we think he sucks. I don't think if he cares about what we think, then I'm even more concerned, to be honest with you.
100%.
But I would be incredibly nervous. Not nervous enough to turn away from the TV, like can't watch it. But I mean, we're holding our breath a little bit.
Right. And I wouldn't go as far as to like use the word sucks. It's just there's been some inconsistency, right? I mean, there's been inconsistency. He knows he needs to hit those kicks and be a little better. Sark said it this week. Sark said the whole thing needs to be better. He says at times they haven't had the snap they need, at times they haven't had the hold they need, and at times Auburn's been bad. So
yeah, and at the end of the look, okay, Chris coaches the youth of America. Bo coaches the youth of America. Jason, they won't let him on a field near children. And
that hearing is still to be held. We don't know what they're going to say.
Well, let me tell you, the trombone he just played doesn't help his case. But when you're coaching kids, and I didn't understand this from the coach's standpoint until I became a coach on my own, there are those guys that are great, but I'd rather have a guy that I know what I'm going to get out of him every single time because I can coach and adjust and build a game plan around it. Consistency is the key. That's what you're looking for, and that's where it's been an issue.
All right, so we may go over the top of the hour, but I don't care. We got to get to the dick move of the week. Jason Dick, who is the dick move of the week this week? Can't be us now because I remember.
Hey, I'm available on Thursdays. You're just going to jam me in here at 9:58 p.m.? Okay.
Are we jamming things in
what?
there? Is that what we're doing?
No, it's fine.
Dick moves of the week.
Like fire hoses?
It's been just like you would expect. The fire hose is fully inserted in my mouth here, and we've been blowing and going, and so
I don't know.
It's good because I've literally been monitoring this every day, and not just this week, but for like 3 weeks. I don't know why. I admit this is a loser move. This is stupid. But if you go to ESPN.com, which I am vaguely an employee of, and you look up there you go. According to ESPN at analytics, the matchup predictor, even though Texas is a 6.5 point favorite, according to Vegas, according to the people who literally put their money where their mouth is, Texas is a favorite in this game. According to ESPN analytics, Oklahoma is a 54.6% favorite to win this game. I don't get it. I don't get it, and I don't understand. And I just want somebody from ESPN to stand up and explain to me, or I don't know, you know what? Send me an email. Let me know what tell me about your numbers. Tell me about your process. What is this? How can it possibly be? Look, I know this is a rivalry game. Toss up, and how can it possibly be that you think that Oklahoma is 54% to win this game? I think it's ridiculous, and this is every time I go to ESPN.com and I look at this thing, I have to wonder what the hell is going. I say ESPN.com, dick move, man.
It is a complete dick move.
Josh Heupel's wife works for ESPN, and that's how this happened. Like the analytics department of ESPN consists of Josh Heupel's wife, Kyler Murray's father, and I don't know. I think it's Stogner.
No, okay. For real, guys. I have been paying extra close attention to this, and if I could get a plug in for my crappy radio show, 11 to 1 on ESPN 102.7. Only listen when Jeff Ketchum is in the bathroom. Okay, a house divided. Pay attention to that, but I assume he needs a potty break every once in a while. Tune over to us. But I've been paying attention every day. Okay, and Monday it was 53.9, and then overnight it went up to 54.5, and I was like, what happened? This morning it was 50 points. So like Texas was closing in, and now it's back to 54%. What is going on in the ESPN analytics world?
Is that the toy you use to make his Wi-Fi go out periodically?
This is what's going on. Did I make this easy for you, Jason? This is what's going on. It's called clickbait.
Well, I fell for it.
And they made you made them the dick. It isn't. It's stupid because there's no analytics in this world that runs those two and puts it. I mean, even if it was at like 49-51, like, okay, we're going to give Oklahoma the edge, I'd be like, all right, there's no analytics that say that they're an 8-point favorite, 9-point favorite as far as percentage wise, right? Like, that's stupid. That is literally ESPN saying, let's drive some interest in this.
Well,
I think
look at the Vegas line. It opened at 5.5 and has moved to 6. Then it moved to 6.5. And if I would be willing to think that there's a decent chance that it will get up to 7 by game time.
I agree.
Because the people in Vegas that are professional gamblers and not just everyday fans like Texas in this game because the actual analytical numbers tell you that Texas is the better football team. Everybody talks about this vaunted OU defense. Well, here's their big 20-6, or vaunted offense, 20-6 versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense gave up 31 to Miami of Ohio. This Dylan Gabriel-led juggernaut beat SMU 28-11. That same SMU team gave up 34 to TCU. These are not world beater defenses, and OU wasn't even the highest scoring team against them. They're not that good. If they beat us, they beat us, and I'll have to eat it. Fine. I'll own that. But Texas is winning by 2 touchdowns plus in this game because talent wins.
I'll tell you what I would do if I'm Sark. I love that graphic. I would not worry about the spread part to show my guys, but man, would I show them that graphic. I would tell somebody to watch it, get me the highest Oklahoma number you can find, and chance I'd put it right in front of them. Maybe not right as you go out, but at some point, maybe it's Friday night before, sometime I would lay that out for them and then let them, because they shouldn't have that in this game. They should be the favorite, having to, number 3 team, live up to your ranking. If he can feed them that before the game, that's fantastic.
I think it's beautiful. You ask for stuff like that. That's something that in Sark's mind, he loves because everybody's, Texas this, Texas that, and you can start reading your press clippings. But you have something like that, and you look, guys, y'all went on the road to Alabama. No respect. You handled business against Wisconsin, with Wyoming. No respect with that. Rice has turned into a better football team than we thought. No respect for that. No respect for anything you've done.
Yeah.
None. All right. Go prove it.
Right. And what's that other metric? The other metric with Oklahoma ahead of Texas? What was that? That's the FPI itself, right? Show them that. Show them everything you can that's got Oklahoma above them. And in fact, in the FPI, you get the double, right? Oklahoma's above Texas. So is Bama.
Yeah.
Like he gets to show that and break stuff. I mean, look at this. If I'm Sark, how do you not show them that? Be like, all right, fellas. So apparently none of it matters. We went to their house, beat them by 10, and apparently it doesn't matter. And then the team we're about to play is 2 spots above us, even though they say we're ranked number 3.
Ohio State won.
I mean,
they
beat
a
10-man Notre Dame
all
team
season, and the defense had 10 players on the field.
Right, just unreal. I would use that every day of the week if I'm Sark. That would be beautiful. All right, let's wrap her up here. Remember, tomorrow night on your Thursday Outsiders, it'll be a little bit different. We're moving the interview to Thursday this week because when you're trying to set up all 3 of these studs, you gotta kind of gotta work with schedules. Sloan, BJ, Roy, all on the show tomorrow. So you're going to see, you've already seen Chance get caught up with BJ and get caught up with Roy. Now you're going to see him get caught up with all 3 of them. And then we'll all jump in. It'll be a lot of fun tomorrow night, 9:15 for those guys. All right, before we wrap it up, stuffed Cajun meat market. How about a deep fried Cajun meat pie? Can we do that at the fair? Look at this.
Boy.
Look at all of those losers.
Except for the kid that's sitting there eating Cajun food. She's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so hey, help me out here, Jason Dick. The upper left, is that those meat pies you've been talking about?
Yes. Still to be determined which one is meat pie, which one is crawfish pie, but I'm going to tell you both of them absolutely excellent. The middle there, you're going to have some Cajun chicken tenders. They have some Cajun, I think those are crawfish tenders. And then, oh my God, give me them balls. Give me them balls. the boudin balls. Let's go, buddy. The Casey's boudin dip, that is all about it. And men's who are just like, why are you taking my picture, man? Why are you taking my picture? Hi, guys. How you doing?
That is so good. And it's so cool that a member of Austin FC showed up between games to enjoy the festivities. That's incredible. You can scan any of those codes right there, your tailgate stuff, the website, specialty menu, all that with stuffed Cajun meat market. And one more time before we get out of here, let's give Poncho some love. Let me get Colton a Poncho shirt, ponchooutdoors.com. There's the camo version. I'm taking my poncho shirts with me for the reunion this weekend. I'm going to be looking so sharp. I'm going to be pulling phones and sunglasses out of secret pockets, freaking people out. They didn't even know I could dress. Nobody I went to high school with even knows I have shirts with buttons on them, but they're going to freak out when they see the mother of pearl snaps bust out this weekend. Colt Fishing in the poncho shirt as well. And remember, if Texas makes the playoff, I have to wear one of those burnt orange numbers. I got to wear one of those on an outside.
Hey, I can't let this show end. Chad, is that a Fred Flintstone chicken leg back there? What is going on here?
This is the turkey leg. We got to have a big turkey leg. Are you kidding? You got to have the big turkey leg. We also got the funnel cake in this week. We got some corn dogs. We just had to get a, state fair mindset going on. Absolutely.
And that Buffalo Bills bowling pin is still
And
beautiful.
the Bills bowling pin is still here. Still here. Now, Chance, I have to ask you, since you brought it up, first off, this is,
where do we go to order?
And a black version, whatever you like. You want the burnt orange on white? You want burnt orange on black? Might be available soon. Might be available near you. We'll let you know about that. Now, Chance, if you choose, tomorrow night, I will be doing the show live from an undisclosed Waxahachie hotel. So the question is, do you want the Bills bowling pin to travel and be a part of it, or do you want it to stay home?
No, it's got to travel. The Bills are in London this week, so it's got to the bowling pin's got to travel too.
Wow.
That could help me out, because if a Waxahachie miscreant tries to cause trouble, I could beat the hell out of them with it. So
yeah, you just say you're part of the mafia, and they'll leave
right,
you alone.
exactly.
This is really a true test for me, because if they have better Wi-Fi in Waxahachie than I do, then goddamn, I gotta quit.
We'll test that out.
We need to get a Wi-Fi sponsor for Jason.
I am crossing my fingers on that one. So we'll have some fun tomorrow night on a Thursday edition. Roy, BJ, and Sloan at 9:15. We'll get you our Bet US picks. We'll see just how awful I can be this week with the picks. Who's in the lead, by the way? Does anybody want to raise their who's in the lead? I forget.
I don't know. I can't hear you.
Who is that? Yeah, I think
it's after this week, once I get it to 12-5-1, I'll teach Jason how to spell the word edge, and then we'll all be good.
There it is. Bo and Chance out in front. And Chris. Hey, let's get Chris in there too. He's right there tied with Chance. Bo,
Is it 2 D's?
Yes. When you spell Abbott, it's ABBODD. Abbott.
Oh my goodness. All right. So there's your Wednesday show. We'll be back for the Thursday edition tomorrow. Remember, bright and early every morning at 6:30. It's Get Your Horns Up on Orange Bloods Live. Thank you for all your support. We're headed towards 18,000 subscribers. We enjoyed having you on the Specs chat tonight. Shout out to Specs for being a great partner as well. All right. Until 9 o'clock tomorrow night, we are the Outsiders. And even Coach Venables will tell you we're legitimately worth a shit.